So staying at home versus assisted living, if you will. I mean, I know the majority of people are like, it's my home, I want to be here. But as you were kind of talking about before, I mean, there's safety and resources. So what are kind of the pros and cons between the two settings, if you will?
Yeah, so the pro for staying at home is going to be, again, you're in your environment, okay? And as I mentioned in the beginning, if you can do so safely and you have the resources, perfect. Do so as long as you can, okay? I would do the same thing, okay? The potential cons of staying at home is when, that's not necessarily the case, okay? So for example, biggest thing is going to be, of course, safety. If we're not even talking dementia and Alzheimer's, we're just talking traditional needing help with items, the biggest thing that we've noticed is going to be the risk for falls. So if there is a history of falls or falls are starting to occur and there's nobody at home, let's say for your loved one, for your mom or dad, that's a concern, right? So that's going to be a potential con of staying at home, is that because it only takes one bad fall, unfortunately, for things to not go too well from there. The other item is going to be nutrition. That's another big thing. Is we notice this a lot, and we notice it a lot through COVID as well, is that without the proper resources, nutrition can play a pretty big role. It can affect blood pressure, hydration. So there's a lot of things that factor into proper nutrition. Social isolation is another big one. It could potentially be a con in staying at home. Again, we saw this even more so through COVID, and where folks were engaging with local churches and friends, that social isolation really spiked, and that can lead to depression, anxiety, and other things. So that's kind of that, and the assisted living. Some of the pros in going into an assisted living is going to be that a lot of that is addressed, of course. So you get to that point where once you make that transition, nutrition will definitely be addressed. All these communities are regulated and monitored by the state, and nutritional information is posted monthly. So that's a plus. And a lot of the food is actually pretty good in these communities.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. A lot of them brag about, hiring chefs. They get chefs from Disney. We're here in Central Florida. So things like that are really attractive. And, if it's like me, I love to eat. So, it doesn't hurt to have good food, which is very important. And again, the safety. So there's somebody always there. Okay. So even though you're in the assisted living, you have your own independence, you have your own room, your own space. Again, biggest difference is that somebody's either going to be there working with you directly if you need the help, or at a minimum, they're on standby to do so if you were to need the help. So that's going to be, pretty important. And then, of course, there's the engagement side of things. So if your loved one was at home and they can kind of spiral downward a little bit if they're not meeting their needs socially. So in the assisted living, activities are happening daily, various activities. So that's something that can engage isolation that might have been there before, help deal with depression, anxiety. They'll make friends. So, those are going to be the good things to look for in an assisted living in that transition.